and goodwill toward all. Bless this gathering, bless our work, bless the alliances we continue to form. May they bring light where there is darkness, hope where there is doubt, and unity where there is division. Amen. Let's stand up for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. Let the love stand beside her and guide through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wipe them all. I want sweet home. R.T.L.I. That's the
Thank you for our Rotary Party for us. I did not see theirs, but you can make it here. If not, Carrie is going to welcome our visitors.
All right, thank you, President Eric. Do we have any visitors today? Look around. Oh, wonderful. Could you stand up and introduce yourself?
Hello, guys. My name is Owen Stone. Fortunate visitor of the Weston War over here. Really glad to be here to have a running company called Serve Raleigh, and we're a mission-driven handyman company. So helping people age in place safely and have.
Welcome, Owen. I didn't have a visitor. Let's see any other one. Well, thank you for visiting, Owen. Make sure you go and introduce yourself at the end here.
All right, thanks, President Carrie, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. We do have some district announcements. The first announcement is relative to a former Rotarian who passed away, Lee Hudson, who was president of Clayton Rotary Club and a past district governor of Rotary, and somebody who loved Rotary and Rotarians as much as anybody I ever met, passed away. Let's just take a moment to remember Lee. All right, thank you. Eric Stevens, I did not see him. So Eric's going to provide us with some updates on the Rotary Peace Center Spring Conference. Watch your email for announcements about that, and make sure you attend that. That's a very important emphasis of Rotary, the support of peace around the world, and we're focal point here with the Institute in the area. And then there's a district conference coming up pretty soon. And so if you're interested in sponsoring that after you sponsor our paper, not before, but after you sponsor our area, then get in touch with Eric Stevens. So with that, we'll have Diamante has an announcement about our community service social for membership. Diamante.
All right. Everybody doing all right today?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that. I said, is everybody doing all right today? No, there we go. Just because it's a Monday, that don't mean it's a slow day. It's a great day. It's a great day to be a Rotarian. I'm gonna just be honest with you, sir. I'm great to be in here, see all over the faces again. Just put a smile on your face. You never know what a smile can do to impact somebody's life. So let's do that. Let's look at that challenge as a Rotarian. When people come in here, I want to see everybody put a smile on your face. You're happy to be here because somebody didn't have the privilege to be a Rotarian. Somebody, just like they just said, somebody didn't wake up to be in a fellowship with a Rotarian being. So I'm blessed and I'm thankful. So with that being said, though, we are having our service social this Wednesday here at Tobacco Road from 5 to 6:30. I invite every one of you to please show up and bring a guest. Here, like I said, bring a guest. When we do the service socials, it has made an impact on me. I met some of my greatest friends from Rotary. especially maybe the day before, is from me here action. I mean, you know, talking to me and just gave me a lot of information and wisdom. Helped me a lot, so just, you never know who you're gonna have when you come to the service social. So please bring your guests, also bring your granola bars. And then, that's really it. Also too, Richard Abra is not here, but I want to give a shout out, and just say this how much Rotary is important to me in those events. Richard Abra knew that my, just to let you guys know, my aunt had passed away. Well, Richard did it out of the kindness of his heart, which blessed me and my family. He sent us a car. So because of that, just out of the kindness of his heart, he didn't ask for it, he doesn't know, but I told him thank you, but I wanted to tell everybody, that's what Rotary is. We look out for each other no matter what. You never know what somebody's going through, but a Rotarian will always come through. So when you tell people about Rotary, tell them, if you have a fellow Rotarian, we always look out for each other no matter what. Y'all have to go.
Email is our membership here. So if you're a visitor or a speaker, make sure you talk to Demonte before you leave about membership in our club or how you can come visit every once in a while. I don't know about you, but no matter how I'm doing, after I spend 5 days with Demonte, I feel better. That's really good. All right, so we have that gala which is coming up, and Mike is going to give us an update on a number of topics. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. Believe it or not, we are less than 2 weeks away from the gala. We have surpassed the goal of 3,000 that I think I talked about last time I was in front of you guys. We've passed 30,000. Now we've passed 40,000. We'd love to hit 50, but that's kind of our new goal. The biggest need that we have, before I go into needs, we will say thank you to our sponsors. We want to thank especially our gold sponsor, Galen Hunt. Anybody is in need of a divorce lawyer, those are the people to go to. Definitely want to thank our silver sponsors and of course our bronze sponsors as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know a lot of people in this room did work very hard to bring that in. And it's going to make this a fantastic event for us. Kind of moving on. Yes, thank you also, John, for the fellows. The biggest need we have right now is volunteers. We need people to help us set up. We need people to pick up beer and wine. We need somebody to work the desks and tear down at the end of this. So Peter Gorey is the man that's kind of leading that. So if you have an interest in helping us out or have the ability to help us out on the day of, which is March 8th, Peter Gorey is the right one to talk to. Demonte brought up Richard, who's not able to be here. He usually at this point in time will be telling us that about our service project. This project is gala donations. Anything you guys can find, whether it's a nice gift basket like this, whether it's a service that you can buy or a service that a friend of yours might have. Use this as a hey, this will give you exposure. Could be a great opportunity. That's kind of how we're going to get to that $50,000 mark is through donations, and yeah, that's how we're going to get there. Again, March 8th, going to be a great party. Can't wait to see everyone.
And we covered a number of topics there, so we're going to come back to John for our. We got a $100 version. We're in the version that was less than $1. Leslie.
Who's happy?
Yes.
The microphone, all right.
Yeah, so after 17 years sitting at a bank on Oakland Road, I'm moving 2 blocks to another bank on Oakland Road to work with my friends, Jim Brown, Charles Bailey, and Frank.
Congratulations, that's so exciting. Oh.
$10. Celebrating the fact that I am a new brand. Yes, a little more last weekend in Wednesday, snow days.
Lennon, right? Lennon. Okay, happy dollars for 2 grand.
$2, sorry, $2.
Whoa. Other happy dollars. Oh,
Happy knowledge and celebrate next meeting. Okay, what else? What else? Anything else? Jim Dorsett looks like he's very happy today. So that's good news. Okay, well, I appreciate y'all and keep those happy knowledge coming. We need to celebrate and Joyce with you.
All right, thank you, Queen of Happy, thank you very much. So now we will have our, to make somebody else happy. By the way, you notice on your tables, there are those red buckets for the Dominican Alliance in North Carolina. If you have some extra change or check that you want to drop into there, please don't let me to do that. So,
Well, I guess you get the pleasure of hearing my voice. Since Tommy's not here, Tommy's a great rapper guy. But let's see what we can do and give away some money today. Bill, would you do some pleasure and pick now? And would you read the number, please?
all right, 825332.
All right. All right. What's up,
John, I didn't have any money in my pocket today, and John said, you know what? You can take one of mine. That's what give me my bucks.
And I said the story is you're generous.
It always comes back to me.
Thank you so much.
When it really worked.
All right, thank you. Does that mean that you just have to wait?
Yeah.
All right, so birthdays and anniversaries, we are on. Valerie Evans is has his birthday on the 25th, and Bill Warren coming up. Congratulations, Bill. Mark Blake and Peter Gory, all birthdays coming up the next week. No anniversaries this week. Then I'm really excited about our upcoming programs. I'm very excited about today's program as well. Now, we've been talking about the program the previous weeks. So we have Center Rock Construction and Green Construction Company coming up next week. Heather Lee, we've got our focus on Raleigh right now. Raleigh's hidden district. She's a 6th generation Raleighite and knows everything about Raleigh. All the fascinating stories, kind of like a Scott Mason kind of story about things in Raleigh. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Sarah Howell, the director of the Institute for Emerging Issue. That started a number of years ago, probably 20 years ago, I guess, somewhere around that. It is one of the most famous institutes in the world, in the country. They always have fascinating new things coming, top speakers. And so she will be here to talk about the new that's coming, a future forward infrastructure for North Carolina. And then coming attractions, I guess you would say, before the end of the Rotary year. Who used to read Ron Christensen religiously when he was in the News Observer? Yeah, he was the genius of politics in North Carolina, a great writer, and he's written a couple of books. He's got another book that he's written, and he'll be our speaker, and you can quiz him on anything about politics, and he will be able to tell you about it. He's writing about the Daniels family, I think in this case, the owners of the News Observer, so it'll be exciting. And then AI, we've been talking about it and hearing about it. We're going to give you a crash course in AI, but it's to be set at the level for this group. In other words, it's going to be. Put this way, Jim, will let people understand. So there we go. And so we're going to technically talk what it is how it works. And then we're going to have a second NC State professor come and talk about the impacts on learning and on society and how to communicate. So I think that's going to be very exciting as well. So with that, we're going to put time for our program. So to introduce our speaker, we have Jim Dorsett. Jim's obviously a member of this club, a distinguished attorney in the Raleigh area, and a past president of this club. And he would probably tell you most importantly, a very proud father and grandfather. So Jim.
Thank you, President Eric. Yeah, as I saw these filing, it's Kevin's announcement reminded me that I just had a new grandson. When he's 6 weeks old, he does seem like it. Well, we're very fortunate today to have
Bill King is our speaker, to tell us about a new vision. Bill King will be telling us about a new vision for downtown Raleigh. We're so fortunate to have Bill as head of the Downtown Raleigh Alliance. He's been with the DRA for 14 years now. Some of the amazing things that he's already accomplished as head of the DRA, leading downtown Raleigh through the COVID crisis, finding grants of $600,000 for downtown merchants, recruiting grocery stores to downtown Raleigh, recruiting merchants and retailers to downtown Raleigh. He has doubled security patrols in downtown Raleigh. And most recently, he's advocated successfully with the Raleigh City Council for the 2-hour free parking in downtown Raleigh. So people can come downtown and enjoy lunch or dinner or some activity and not be worried about rushing to the meter, some more coins. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill. We didn't really do that, but so his background is in urban planning. He has a master's in urban planning from USC Chapel Hill. He's added the sip and stroll social district. We've got some sip and strollers in this group, I suspect. And new events that have brought thousands of people to downtown Raleigh. Bill has been recognized at the 40 under 40 awards by the Triangle Business Journal, also by the University of Georgia. Now, before coming to Raleigh, Bill did some top secret investigative work in Washington, D.C. I'll see if he's able to tell you anything about that. Bill, in his spare time, he is an avid hiker and he loves to ride on Raleigh's many greenway trails. If you happen to be in the area, be careful, it goes fast. So watch out for Bill on the greenway. So Bill and his lovely wife Jenny have 2 children, ages 4 and 1. So he is indeed a busy guy. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Bill. Okay.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, and a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you for, as always, being here in downtown Raleigh. We really appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a little bit about our organization, a little bit about downtown's economy, and then a little bit about the future. So I'm happy to take questions after that. Our mission at Downtown Raleigh Alliance is simple: it's to advance the vitality of downtown for everyone. Really emphasize for everyone. You see that throughout the presentation. We try to touch as many people as we can and make this a place where everybody feels welcome. We are a nonprofit partner to the city of Raleigh. We are part of the city of Raleigh. People think we are. We are not. We're a nonprofit partner. We provide some services through the municipal service district, which is a tax district in downtown Raleigh that pays for extra services, some of which we provide, and we also raise private funds to add to those resources. So we are public and private in that way. This is a confusing map of downtown Raleigh, but intentionally so. There are a lot of different definitions of downtown. If you look really closely, there's a faint yellow line. That is the tax district's boundaries. So we have to think about that services. And there's this darker line that's kind of like a hand. That is the city's official boundary for downtown. And there's a dotted line, which is a mile radius in the middle of downtown. Most everybody who lives in that dotted line thinks they're in downtown. So we have to think about all that when we're providing services. And when I talk about downtown, I know it means different things to different people, and we keep that in mind. So it's one of the great things about what we do, but it's a challenge for what we do. As you can see, there's also a lot of different parts of downtown that have different challenges and different strengths. We're in Glenwood South. Glenwood South is not a heavy office district. So how it came to the COVID crisis was very different from Bagel Street, which was highly dependent on office workers. We still see that to be the case, and I'll show you a little data on that. I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about what we do in economic development. I love to show this photo. This is what's called a streetery. Other cities are known as parklets. It's a good example of what our organization does. Prior to building, these were not legal. These were, you couldn't have outdoor dining in the parking space. We worked with our partners at the state government to get this legalized in spring of 2020. We worked with the city to get the design standards done quickly, and we helped pay for these. And so you see these throughout downtown. They've been great for our businesses, provide a lot more outdoor space, they make our sidewalks more vibrant. It's a good example of how we work between state government, local government, private businesses, and the public sector as well. On the economic development side, we do a lot of different things. We do retail recruitment. We have a lot of data analysis, which I'll show you in a minute. We do storefront grants, and we do a lot of advocacy as well. So the free to our apartment is a good example of some of our advocacy work. We also did recruit 2 grocery stores in downtown. That was a huge project, took a lot of years. We provided a lot of money to our small businesses through our grant programs. We did the social district or city control district. And we also have done these digital wayfinding kiosks you see throughout downtown to try to make it easier to find businesses and train them. In our advocacy work, we worked really hard last year to save Red Bank Theater. That was in danger as a project. The current site of the theater is where the convention center will expand. The theater needs to move. To do that required closing a block of South Street. And so we got involved there and we were able to successfully keep this downtown. We don't have an arena, we don't have a baseball stadium. This is our big outdoor venue, so very important to us. Last year, this venue brought 4 million people downtown during the summer. So great venue for us. We're excited that we'll have a new iteration that will start construction later this year. We also do real sort of practical things with the city. This is an example of a solid waste pilot that we've done to try to get some of those rollaway trash cans off the sidewalk. So partner with the city to create a collection, central collection zone. This is over on Martin Street, work with some businesses. Our hope is to keep doing this so we get some of those trash cans off the street. The rollaway carts that we know are ugly and create bad smell. So we do stuff like this as well. We do a lot of marketing communication. We restaurant lead, we have very robust social media. Please follow us there. We do First Friday, things like that to really support our storefront businesses. We also have a really good program called Pop-Up Shops. It was on Martin Street, actually in Wilmington Street, where we do a program for entrepreneurs, focused heavily on minority businesses to help them test the market downtown. So we rent out a space and we sublet to them at a reduced rent, 1-year leases, partner with Wayne Tech, who gives them business training and financial training. And so they sort of get to experience downtown, to take that next step in their business. This has been a much greater program than we even envisioned. Just in 2 years, we graduated 4 businesses to permanent storefronts in Raleigh, which is really great. So we're excited to keep this program going and we'll reopen this spring. We do a lot of events and activations. We do Live After 5, which is our Wednesday night music series. We do Jazz in the Square, which is our Thursday night music series in the Moore Square. We do the Christmas tree lighting. We do events around First Friday, and we do Illuminate as well. It's a big light in the park walk that we do every December. This picture on the left, that's from one of our years Illuminate. That was a piece that came to us from Amsterdam. So we always do a big international piece every year. This past year, we light up tunnel that came to us from Canada. We do temporary installations like you see in the middle there, and we do murals as well with our various partners. There's some other murals. This is on a railroad pretzel, another good example where we work kind of in between sectors. We work with the railroad company. It took 5 years to get the agreement done. But that we got an agreement done with the railroad company is a remarkable thing. Since they own the pretzel, they let us put this mural on there, and the community on what they wanted the mural to be. So this is what they wanted the mural to be, so that's what we did. There's another piece of art we have downtown as well. So we try to make downtown a lot more colorful. We also do fun little things like the dinosaurs. We put these out, they lead between the Capitol and Marvel's Museum, and my family's walking more in between those 2 destinations. So we put these topiary dinosaurs out, and people would care, they love them. People take photos of these all the time. We dress them up now for holidays, and they're a whole lot of fun. So kids love them in particular as well. And so this is a chart that I know you can't read, but get the gist. What we try to do with our art and our activations is we try to program spaces when they are not otherwise programmed. If I wanted to maximize my number of attendees, I would throw a beer festival every Saturday, and that would be great. We have beer festivals on Saturday. those do really well. So what we try to do is we program spaces like on Wednesday evenings, when nobody on City Plaza, or nighttime on Maple Street. Get people moving spaces when they're not otherwise there. So the red line there shows you during Illuminate on Friday night, you can see elevated foot traffic compared to an average Friday night on Maple Street. So that's what we try to do with our activation events. I will touch on safety and security. It's an important part of what we do in downtown Raleigh. We have a layered approach that we've built out in the last few years. Obviously, Raleigh police at the end of the day is important as the primary stakeholder who's responsible for safety in downtown. We talk to them every single day, multiple times a day, a lot of coordination, great partnership. And then we have built out this approach underneath it with our ambassadors, private security, and camera network. I'll walk through each briefly. But I will, before I do that, note that we have to be very cognizant of different populations in downtown. It is easy to say downtown Raleigh has, okay, we see somebody who's homeless running out and say, guys, this is a problem. We gotta do something about this. We absolutely do, but what we do about them is not the same thing we do about somebody who's shoplifting from the store or who's committing an assault or something like that. So there are people who are homeless. There's a lot of reasons for that. They may have some challenges with mental health. We have people in mental crisis who may be homeless, they may not be. There's some overlap there, but there are also other issues. And then we have people who are not homeless or mentally ill, which is criminal. So we have to tailor our approach to each of these groups. You'll see that in how we approach safety in downtown, make sure we're having a holistic approach and we're meeting people where they are, but also doing what is necessary. So our ambassador program, that is our most prominent safety program. We have 20 uniformed ambassadors that control 7 days a week. We start at 6 a.m. every day. They check in on businesses every day, provide safe walks on parking decks for people who work late or work early. They do hospitality guidance. They patrol the parking decks and let police know what's going on in those. So we have a lot going on with them. You see them, there is little golf carts too, sort of zooming around the streets. So this is a great program. If you're a downtown employer, please make sure your team uses them. They're happy to provide walks or do anything necessary. 2 of them are social workers. So in 2020, we hired social workers. And so with 2 social workers, they're the ones who are helping those who are homeless or in mental health crisis find resources. So they walk around downtown all day. If you see somebody who is, homeless or in crisis downtown, you can call them and they will respond. They also very likely know who that is. So if I point somebody out there and say, yeah, I know who that is, I know what their deal is, I know who the guardian is, all of that. So it's been a really great program. They've got people in permanent housing. They've got people, the support services they need. They've got people into addiction services. So they've done a really great job. This is a great service. I wish we had more of them. But we've got 2 of them. And we also do a social service fair twice a year at Moore Square to bring social services to those in need so they can get better connected. We do have private security. We put that in the core of downtown in 2023 when issues around our bus station got out of hand. We felt like we needed an elevated level of security. So these guys are really security focused. So they don't do as much of the hospitality and there's no social workers. They look kind of like police. You didn't look too hard. You think people walk past an officer, they're in dark blue, big vest, that type of thing. So they're there to defer issues in the Maple Street corridor, Wilmington, Milan, Target, Martin, Davie, Salisbury. They work closely with police. They've been able to help us really get issues around the bus station back under control. So there's been a great service for us as well. So we have this additional security team on top of the ambassadors. We also do have a security camera network with the city of Raleigh to expand security cameras throughout downtown so we can be more efficient with that. So we have a cloud-based security camera network, which the Raleigh Police purchased in 2023, and we've been building out with them, which has been really helpful too for us to be able to be more efficient with our people. And then we also work with public that's trying to get these trash cans off the street, broken sidewalks, broken lighting, things like that. When you have stuff like this, it makes the place feel unloved and look unloved, which means people feel like they have misbehavior. So we have a monthly meeting where we sit down in the city, we talk about, hey, this is broken, fix this, that type of thing. Some of this is easier to do than others, but we've made some good progress with the city on these items as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about our economy and our future here. We have been very fortunate in Raleigh to be in a great place economically, and downtown has certainly been part of that. We're in the middle of an almost $7.5 billion development pipeline downtown Raleigh, which is incredible. So going back the last decade, we've had an enormous amount of construction down here. We've still got a lot left in the pipeline. So a few good things. This past year, we had our best year ever in storefront business openings. 67 businesses opened on storefront level, which was great. We did lose 38, but still a strong net gain of 29 new businesses downtown. So starting to see that storefront economy get better. Our food and beverage sales, we had a good year there. December was 5.5% better than the December from the year before. Overall, we had a good gain for 2024 in previous years. So that's great. We're excited to see our food and beverage sales get back up. Every district downtown saw growth. North Square was flat, but all the other districts saw growth, which is great. Our largest district for food and beverage sales is the one you're in the south. That's not a surprise. You think about the nightlife scene, the restaurants here, this is where a lot of those sales are. And we've sort of seen that dichotomy, that gap widen with COVID. So we've been trying to sort of close that. We're excited to see that the Fayetteville Street District had a really good year. 10% increase in sales in 2024 in the Fayetteville Street District. So that is really good. We've got a lot of businesses open, had 10 new businesses open on Fayetteville Street in the past year, which is awesome. 8 of them are restaurants. So we finally start to see some good momentum down in the core, which is great. Visitor visits are up, so we self-updated measure people visiting downtown. We had a 1.3% growth year over year, but overall, we're pretty close back to where we were pre-COVID on visitors downtown. So we're usually around 94% of what we were before. This is a real confusing graph, and I'm going to show you what matters about this. This is visitor visits by district. And you can probably guess what is the district at the top there in blue that's hovering above all the others. So what district is back above this pre-pandemic visitation? That is Glenwood South. Okay, so if I show you food and beverage sales, the chart would look exactly the same, which is the rest of downtown is kind of in this zone of like almost recovered, still trying to recover, back to pre-COVID sales or pre-COVID foot traffic, and then you got Glenwood South. Glenwood South, as I mentioned, doesn't rely on office traffic. It's a heavy nightlife district. It's a heavy residential district. So its recovery has been really easy. It was essentially fully recovered in March of 2021, which we didn't even have vaccinations all the way through the population yet. They were already recovered. So very different districts. So our challenges on this side of downtown are around abundance. It's what do we do with all these people here on Friday night? How do we deal with the traffic? How do we deal with the noise? At times it's been how do we deal with crime? We've gotten that back under control. But this is the area of abundance. And the Fayetteville Street District has been how do we get energy back? So we're happy to see those things finally happening in that district. But you do have a little bit of a tail of 2 downtown. Residential has been really good for downtown Raleigh. So we are in the middle of a great pipeline of adding a lot of residents. Since 2020, we've added 2,400 residential units in downtown proper. We've got about 1,600 under construction. And we have another 8,000 units planned in downtown. So this is just for downtown. We're adding a lot of residential, which has been really great. So that's 4,000 units, real units being added since 2020. So that'll add 5,000 people to the downtown population, which is great. So that's what helps support businesses. This is part of how you get out of COVID, because you have people living down there. So then you don't have to worry about where they live from. If they live downtown, we'll get their business, which is great. We are the second fastest growing downtown in the country for apartment construction. Only Nashville has more apartments being built since 2015. And that's remarkable because Nashville is in Durham in its region, right? So there's a lot of apartments being built downtown Durham too. So to have this many in downtown Raleigh is a great affirmation of how many people want to live here and how strong our market is. Rent has actually gone down for the last couple of years in downtown Raleigh because we're adding some new units. So that's a good thing for renters. Developers are sort of shielding their eyes right now, but that's a good thing for renters. Yeah, a lot of supply. You will see your rent go down. But we've been here before. You can see a few years ago rent went down, then went right back up. So if you don't keep building units, it will go back up. Now this is likely to happen. We are currently at almost 94% occupied. So we wondered they might have religion. Remember 2020 was like people are going to move out of the country downtown's where we're gonna die. On the residential side, that is not the case. We are very strong in our leasing, and we're still absorbing a lot of these units, which is great. So our population will grow here in downtown. We should break 20,000 at the end of the decade, which will be wonderful for downtown. That's part of why we have 2 grocery stores down here. Office space, this is a darker picture, but actually not nearly as dark as you think. Office market is totally different than it was 5 years ago. There's no doubt about that. But even still, the downtown Raleigh office market is still the best performing office market in the region. So we've had a net absorption of 430,000 square feet, which means we've leased 430,000 more square feet than we've lost in leases in downtown. So that's a really good thing. People want to be in places like this where there's restaurants on the ground floor, things to do, energy, other employees around. We're pretty well positioned. Moving forward as an office market, understanding that the office market is very different than it was a few years ago. Part of why we also have a well positioned here densest office market in the region. So there are more employees per acre here than anywhere else in the region by quite a bit. See that on this chart. North Hills is the next closest. So for a tech company that wants the energy, they want all the sort of collision of ideas and all that. This is why you move to downtown. If you're a large biomedical researcher looking for a huge lab space, you probably want to RTP or something, because you're not coming down here. But if you want that sort of density, that's what you come to downtown. We do measure how we're doing on return to office. You saw the data for that, and we saw it get a little bit better in 2024 versus 2023. This is by far the weakest part of our recovery. This is a national issue, not a Raleigh issue. In general, we're probably around 60% of the office visits we had pre-COVID. So we have more people living downtown than we did pre-COVID. We're about where we were on visiting pre-COVID, but office is where we're hurting, right? That's where 40% of office workers didn't necessarily come back. Again, that's a national issue. In DC this weekend, they are well below that. Quite a few other cities are as well. So that's a challenge for our economy that we were still working through and trying to figure out. Get through that. So finally, I'll get to the future of downtown and show you a little bit about what we're trying to do to move downtown forward. So 2 years ago, we decided to do a new economic development strategy for downtown. And we did that because the old downtown plan was dated in 2014. So a lot of things were done, or they didn't make sense anymore. Everything changed, obviously, after COVID. So we needed to focus on how do we get our store points coming back? What do we do with our office space? How do we better support first businesses? And what are the next big ideas for downtown Raleigh? So we released this report last year, to great fanfare. The city officially adopted it as a guiding document, which is great. It is a very dense report. I'm not going to take you through every recommendation, but I'm going to try to give you some flavor of what we're working on. Part of what we're trying to deal with are a few challenges, like I've already mentioned. Our office utilization has changed. We have a lot of regional competition here, North Hills, Benton, Ironworks, Durham. And we have some disconnection in downtown. The McDowell Dawson Street corridors difficult to cross. The state government campus is not very vibrant. So we've got great pockets of energy and we'll have disconnected from each other. So this is some of the stuff we're trying to work through with this study. But we've got some great assets downtown. We have a lot of locally owned businesses, so we have a lot of authenticity. We've got a lot of great creative firms and companies here. We have a great award-winning dining scene. We have great museums. So we knew we had stuff to work with this month. So what we have here is we've got a lot of recommendations, really 4 different groups: places, community, celebration, and connection. I'm going to walk you through some examples of each. So places, what does that mean? So our consulting team came here and they walked around downtown and they said, your public spaces are really not that interesting in downtown. For a city that has an incredible park system and great green space. You think about City Plaza, which is on Fayetteville Street, it's gray, it's hardscape, it has no shade, it has no color. Even Moore Square could be a little bit more dynamic and interesting. Nash Square is nice, but not, terribly engaging. So a lot of these recommendations are around what to do in public space. And one of the public spaces is Fayetteville Street. Fayetteville Street is a great street, and it's part of the city's plan when it was built, at the Capitol. It was a huge sidewalks, it's a great vista of the Capitol, the Performing Arts Center. But it's got a lot of junk on it in terms of streetscape. It's got these old newspaper boxes, it's got those weird granite blocks that don't do much. So it's very hard for businesses to use for outdoor dining, it's hard to activate. So one of the initial areas of focus was remove all the old junk on the sidewalk. Let's make it a lot more dynamic. Let's make it space for outdoor dining. Let's make it space for small performances, for games, or working outside, for swings, and make it a much more interesting street to walk up and down rather than, you know, a lot of sort of clutter and the occasional bench. Let's do something a lot more interesting. So the report was very deep about Main Street. City is currently working on the technical side of this, how do they actually pull this off? But there's a great opportunity here to really think about our Main Street to make it a lot more vibrant, a lot more colorful, a lot more interesting, a lot more joyous. And also a lot more uplight the buildings, with these beautiful historic buildings and these beautiful modern buildings. Let's uplight those, let's do lights in the trees. We've got these great trees on Maple Street. How do we light up the trees? Make it a really interesting, walk, look really dynamic. So a lot of opportunity on Main Street. Our Main Street is underwhelming. It tends to color everyone's experience of that. Also adding more shade, making City Plaza a lot more comfortable. On the left there, those images are from a thermal camera, which measures how hot something is. This was in August of 23. City Plaza gets up to 123 degrees in the middle of the day. It's hard, hard surface, all of that. Nobody's eating much in 123 degrees. So effectively just it's this flat, hot space that people avoid. How do we make that a lot more interesting? So there's a whole series of recommendations on making the plaza a lot more comfortable, a lot easier to use, and more usable 7 days a week. So fundamentally, what we're trying to do is take every public space in downtown and give it a purpose. What if more square was devoted to kids and families because it's across the street from Marbles? Right now, I walk my 4-year-old out the door of Marbles, she looks at the square and she goes, I think I'd rather not. We want her to say, no, I actually won't go there, that was really interesting, that's gonna be really fun. What if those two plazas would be Fayetteville Street, Wilmington Street, how to the purpose of them? One of them was to go to exercise, the other one was a small dog park, or to go to entrepreneurship with small vendor stalls. Give each public space a purpose and investment. So a lot of recommendations around that to make our public space a lot more dynamic. Also in this area, free 2-hour parking, that's something we've got done with the city council. We got the pilot extended to the end of the year. This has been a phenomenally successful program. 88% of the general public, when surveyed, said it's made them more likely to come downtown if there's free 2-hour parking in projects. 95% of the public wants to keep this program, 97% of the businesses want to keep it, and 91% of the businesses said this has improved our sales and all of our business. So this has been a great win for us. We've also, in the report, asked the city to do more to improve the parking den experience through safety cameras and better maintenance as well. The celebration side is really focused on celebrating Raleigh through culture and public art, placemaking. One of the great things about Raleigh is we are the state capital. That is something no other city can take from us. We should be a celebration of North Carolina. North Carolina is a diverse, innovative, culturally rich state. We're very proud to be here. People choose to be in North Carolina. We should have a reflection of that. When you walk around downtown Raleigh, you feel like you're getting the flavor of the state and feel it. So our public art should reflect that. Art that feels like the culture of North Carolina, the history of North Carolina. We should also take advantage of all of these family-friendly amenities we have. We have 3 museums, Marbles, History, and Natural Science Museum, that collectively bring over 2 million people to downtown Raleigh. But we don't do much to connect them together. People largely go to them when they run their car and they leave. We need to do more to keep them there. So we have a lot of recommendations on building out, through fun, wayfinding and things like this, building out little trails within museums so that kids will want to do this. The idea being that someone with little kids, if you can keep them here a little bit longer through things like this, then they get hungry, then you got to take them to a restaurant, and businesses see more support, where they want to see a store, they want ice cream. So there's a great opportunity to get families down here. We just need to keep them here longer through some more engaging ways of moving them through the museums. The dinosaurs was the test of this, and we feel like it's really true that people will go and look for these. So we want to do more stuff like this. We did dinosaurs because that's what the Natural Science Museum has right now. They have a big dinosaur with it. The southern end of downtown, we want to really focus on arts and entertainment. That's where the amphitheater is, the performing arts center, the convention center is expanding. There's a great opportunity to celebrate arts and entertainment down there that largely is not taking place. You don't really feel like you're in an arts district. You feel like you're in kind of a convention center district. So there's a lot of recommendations to make that a lot more colorful, interesting, more programmed, more nighttime activity, to make that southern end of downtown really more vibrant. We also want to bring more businesses that are from across the state of North Carolina. So think of businesses from Asheville, from Wilmington, from Winston-Salem. We're already seeing some examples of this. We've got a few of these, but we want you to walk around downtown streets and feel like you're getting the best of North Carolina feel from the different restaurants, breweries, bars you can go to. Skip ahead here. We also want to celebrate Black entrepreneurship in downtown. We have a tremendous history of African American entrepreneurship. So there's some great opportunities to celebrate that Target and Wilmington Street corridor. You don't see much of that right now. You wouldn't know the history there, but it's incredibly rich. So that's another way to celebrate that history of Raleigh and the state. On community, we need to do more to leverage our partnerships here in Raleigh to sort of build out innovation and entrepreneurship and some great opportunities. One of the most obvious examples is NC State. NC State, our consultants keep you blown away that we are not better connected with NC State. It's a tier 1 research university. One of the best research universities in the country. It is close to downtown, and we have virtually no connection, either physical or sort of figurative, right? What can we do to make it so that we've got both physical connections that are better, and also let's bring some of the university into downtown. Let's do some of that research here. Let's do some of the life science and things like that in downtown Raleigh. Let's benefit each other. So a lot of recommendations for better connecting downtown Raleigh and NC State University in particular. We have a lot of creative and design firms. We are sort of the regional hub of architecture, engineering, digital marketing, advertising, things like that. You don't really feel it walking around our streets. So a few key corridors, how to use public art, murals, things like that, to make it feel like what it is, which is a place of creativity and energy. Supporting our entrepreneurship ecosystem and our small businesses, using things like our pop-up program, sort of help make sure we're fostering small businesses downtown and supporting them properly. Adding more housing to the core of downtown. You saw that chart earlier. A lot of housing being built in downtown, but a lot of it's on this side of downtown, this west side, not as much of it in the core. So you're still, that's part of why Maple Street's taking so long to come back. It doesn't have enough people to live here. This side of downtown has a lot of people to live here. So if you walk on Cleveland Avenue at 7 o'clock tonight, you see people walking their dogs, people playing yoga. It feels really vibrant and energetic. It's not always about that Maple Street corridor. So we need to add more housing. So we, in the report, have a lot of sites identified to add housing, city-owned sites, things like that, to make the core a lot nicer. This is the final section, and I'll finally stop talking. Connections. We need to do a lot more to connect in downtown to other places. This is a good example of Dawson and McDowell streets. Those are really big corridors that drive a lot of cars through downtown. They have the same number of travel lanes as I-40, but they do about 20% of the traffic of I-40. So we don't necessarily need all of that space. We could probably move people through just as efficiently, but make the streets breathe a little bit more with bike lane, pedestrian island, things like that. But make it more comfortable to cross, make it less of this sort of gulch in the middle of downtown. These are the sidewalks here in Glenwood South. This is Glenwood Avenue. Glenwood Avenue is the busiest street in downtown on weekends. I have no idea where you're supposed to walk on this sidewalk. It's cluttered with, we want dining, that's a good thing. And you add fire hydrants, but there's nowhere to walk. So the streetscape in Glenwood South is pretty poor. So we have recommendations around really improving Glenwood South's walkability. This is the gateway here from the convention center to City Plaza. The convention center, where we host thousands of visitors every year, City Plaza, which is supposed to be our front porch. And the gateway is the electrical or the truest building. Not a great gateway for people to walk past. They're not likely to do it. What if we made it something more interesting, colorful, dynamic, fun? Whether you're a visitor or you're local, you want to walk through this, and it invites you to the main street and pulls you in between some of these big centers of traffic. Peace Street is another opportunity. The state government campus, not the most dynamic, but we had a great meeting with the state government last year about this. And some real issues making Peace Street a lot more interesting, making a gateway to the state government campus right there across the seaboard, inviting you in rather than sort of turning your back, right? And so some ways to make Peace Street a signature corridor and gateway to downtown. And then our final recommendation, connect downtown to Dix Park in a big bold way. Dix Park is the next thing. It's a 300-acre park. It's about to open a huge play plaza that's going to be incredible, and it's going to have a lot of investment, but it is poorly connected to downtown because it was the state mental hospital. It's not supposed to be connected to anything else. They kept people out, people in, but not supposed to be connected, and we suffer from that. So whether that's a bridge or an aerial connection, getting over that interchange. It's only about 4/10 of a mile from downtown to Dix Park, but it feels much longer because it's so poorly connected. There's a great catalytic opportunity here to create something really amazing. We're connecting to our greenway system, would be a great opportunity for Raleigh. This would be a view, for example, from Dix Park, if we're building a bridge between the park and that could be really, really cool. Some of the other ideas in the study that were brought up, sports venue, we'd love to have one of those downtown, obviously the arena is where it is, but maybe baseball. A library, moving the prison from where it is, it's a state decision, and some changes to our bus system as well. So a lot of stuff's moving forward already. We meet with the city almost weekly on this study, trying to advance things. The 2-hour market's been really big early win. A lot of other stuff that's slower moving, but is moving. It'll take years to fully realize the vision, but we are really excited about it. We feel like we've got a lot of big energy. As you can see, economically, we've got some momentum finally downtown, and we feel really good about where we're headed. So, downtown Raleigh, the last slide, is really important to the city. We're a cultural face of the city. We're a place you bring your friends and family when they're out of town, where media come when they're here. They're oftentimes in downtown Raleigh, so that's important to the city. We also are a net contributor from a tax perspective. A lot of times we hear, oh, gosh, they're investing in downtown again. We're subsidizing it. Other way around, subsidizing the city. The tax yield in downtown is way above what we get in terms of investment because of the density of these buildings. These buildings are worth unbelievable amounts of money, and they pay a lot of taxes. So they contribute a lot to the city too. So investments in downtown not just benefit us culturally, not just benefit us, you know, as a community, but also benefit us financially too. So there's a lot of reasons to believe in downtown and invest in it. And I thank you guys for the time you all spend in downtown and taking interest. And thank you for having me. I'm happy to take any questions. One question I'm not getting the same. So festivals downtown, I thought the Bluegrass, I'm not a big Bluegrass fan, but that was one of the bigger festivals in downtown Raleigh, and they let that go. So what's happening with bringing large festivals to that? It's a good question. Question was, what happened, you know, with the Bluegrass Festival, what's happening, sort of replace it. Bluegrass is being replaced, with a festival that would be similar, it was sort of roots music, so bluegrass, Americana, country. The reality of the Bluegrass Festival was the IBMA, the International Bluegrass Music Association, the very small association in Nashville who run the awards. The event itself run by the city of Raleigh's events team. So those people are all here. So the event itself, we still have the capability of doing. IBMA at the end of their contract bid it out, and the city was willing to pay more money. The city felt it was worth for that. It was just the ROI. So that moved to Chattanooga, but essentially a replacement festival with the same team is taking place with a bit of a broader lens of music, but kind of roots focused. And so that'll be the same weekend in September in downtown. And so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully people respond right the same way. Obviously hated losing bluegrass, but that's a good opportunity. And then I know Mayor Cowell, so good mayor, Janet Cowell, it has a task force working on what is our strategy for festivals before. Kind of seem like we're at a crossroads, we're bluegrass left, we're doing this replacement. Dreamville, which is the Kid Rock Festival in Dix Park, is going to conclude after this year. That's not anything we did, that's the organizers who was tired. So what is our strategy? What are we trying to celebrate? What are we trying to recruit? So she's working on that with the task force of what's that longer term strategy, because I think we've kind of hit that inflection. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. I don't just worry about what we've done in River Valley. I love the thought behind it. Something, another thing struck me, but one of them was the connection between your psychology and where you live, how the city looks, affects how you feel. And talk about two words we said, one was about making more square friendly to children and about partnerships. Should emphasize that our club, along with the other clubs in the area, are building a children's music playground in Fort Square Park. So look forward to the partnership with your organization and the city. Don't forget the Service Social at the Monte on Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
Wednesday, okay. And then, is John Kate still here? There you go, over there in the corner. Hey, John. I didn't see a dress code for the gala. Are kilts permitted?
What's that?
Are kilts permitted as part of the dress code for the gala?
Yeah.
You might have to rebel. Oh, they're required. Anyways, I encourage.
They pay 2 tickets.
They're willing to pay Scots. So Randy and Jim and Kirk and everybody else who has a kilt, I would challenge you to wear it and take on John. All right, with that, we want to go ahead and things. We will take our 4 weeks to get home with your graduate. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth?
It's a fair law, sir. Well, friendships.